Welcome back to the UnNamed Production Company. We're back again playing Hot Springs Island using the basic fantasy RPG. Before we go in, there's one house rule I'm instituting in this game. Is mainly for thieves to sneak attacks. As written, it is for melee combat only. I am allowing ranged combat to happen also, but still pretty much only once every combatant you get a sneak attack. I'm still instituting that, but you can allow short range ranged weapons are allowed for too.
Only short range, no long range sneak attack.
No, you got to be within whatever the short range is.
Okay. Yep.
All right. So, quick recap. All our characters here, for one reason or another, ended up on the Spinning Weasel boat to go to the new continent, to either to escape or to travel or just to find new lands. Met some interesting people on board, had some interesting bets that happened. And at nighttime, a bunch of lizardmen attacked. And once the combat, but they took out a good chunk of the crew, but all the lizardmen were defeated. But once the combat had died down, the ship blew up for some reason. And all our characters pretty much were knocked out. They awoke to getting dragged onto this island, and they were told that they were drifting for about 2 days. And now that they are awake, you hear on a beach, regular sand with a jungle behind them that they've heard lots of noises come from. And this beach of black sand straight ahead and a light drizzle coming down is when our characters wake up. And now, enter Hot Springs Island. Okay, as you guys slowly wake, you hear a bunch of other people coughing. Brother Tal, who I think dragged Brother Ivar, is now on his hands and knees. Chest is heaving very hard. Andros, the captain, which I think had, who had he? I think he had Grimwald over his shoulder. Kind of tossed him down. He's got his hands on his knees. He's heaving really hard. And then Naduri, I think some crew members dragged you on board because you weighed a lot more than the others. Okay, you start hearing a bunch of people panicking as you guys slowly wake up. You hear the captain, quiet. Billy, find out where we are. Risa, go check for everything. Now, as a recap, Risa was the scout who seemed to be a bow expert, and then Billy was the mage on the ship. So Risa takes her bow, she puts a hand on a short sword. She goes off into the jungle, very kind of almost with a cat's grace, very stealthily and quiet, kind of disappears from view. And you see a bunch of the other crew members are lugging up these big barrels. They weigh a ton, but there's 8 of them, and they're kind of between 2 of them are dragging them on shore. These are water barrels. You got it's about 4 barrels of 40 gallons each were salvaged from the boat. And then some of them you're divvying up these, looks like big packs, like wax paper around. These are rations. Unfortunately, not a lot of those survived the trip, and pretty much you each got 1 pack each, which 1 pack will last you about a week's worth of rations. So a decent amount of water, not much rations.
You said 4 barrels of 40 gallons each of water?
Yep.
Okay.
Except in this super hot and humid, you pretty much have to consume about 2.5 gallons a day. If you can find shade, it go down, but out in the open like this, especially with what's causing the black sand, you'll need the full, the hot weather water. Okay. As you look around, you see Villy, the mage. So it looks like she casts incantation. He starts mumbling something. You see him kind of with his hands, goes like that over his eyes. You start seeing him look. Captain, something's not right here. You said we drifted 2 days? Yes. Andros steps in. Yes. So Jonas and me, we got the ship. We guided the debris. We were only there about 2 days. See Billy kind of looks around. He does like a 360 look around. Captain, we're more than two. I'm enhancing vision. We are waiting. If it was really 2 days away, I should be able to see the outline. We're way off. While 2 days may have passed physically, we're a lot further away than that. I see him look up, and this might explain it. There's a bubble around this. There's a bubble around this place. And he comes down. Says, Captain, I don't know where you led us to, but this place is weird. Andros just kind of like shakes his head. All right. Come on, man. Gather up everything, count the supplies. We got to head out soon. Brother Tal stands up, and he just he walks over to where the tide comes in, starts kicking the water, kicks some like shells in the water, looks down, looks out to the sea. You see he's wearing like a coin on amulet is the shape of a coin. You see him kind of like kiss that, put it down. And he looks towards the black sand beach. You see him kind of do a double take and his eyes narrow. He kind of like does this. Captain, they're look that way. You see the captain look. And are any of you looking?
Yeah, I'd look as well.
As long as I'm conscious and aware, yeah, I'd be looking.
As the exchange went on, as when you guys were kind of coming to, and by now you've shaken off everything, like the whole waking up at this point. So Brother Tal kind of like points. You can see where he's pointing. There is a skeleton in that black sand beach. And as you look harder, there's a lot more skeletons. And from a couple of them, you see something glint off of them.
Ooh.
Now, do they look like on the ground? They would look like corpses, but they've just desiccated to the point that they're just bones, or are they?
They are just bones.
Okay.
But now that the rain has started, because I thought when you woke up, a light rain had started. Where the rain hits the black sand, it just fizzles and steam comes up instantly.
About how far away is the closest one?
You're only about 10 feet away from where the black sand starts, and about 20 feet in after the black sand is where the first one is.
I think Naduri would pull out his warhammer and walk over to check it out.
Oh, does Naduri have his warhammer? Damn.
So I think when we left off, I think it was stuff we were holding was lost, but stuff that was strapped down was retained.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So I lost my clan mace.
Your mace.
Right. Good point.
I still have my family name hammer. And a couple axes. Yeah, if
I think you're right. That's right.
I think all I lost was my short bow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you were. I think you were smart and stayed at range.
Does Brother Ivar have no weapons at all?
Right. Not at this point. Yeah, I think I only had a warhammer, and I had been wielding that, and so that and my shield, I bet, are missing.
I would offer you a hand axe.
And I would
my belt.
I would look at it and I would say, "That's much appreciated, Naduri. However, the Lord of Light would frown if I were to wield that weapon in anger. You have anything with a blunt edge, perhaps? Or I suppose you could use it, cut a big stick off one of these trees, could wield a club."
Yeah, and I kind of look at my warhammer and you are not getting that out of my
and I would notice that too when you kind of looked at it and would be like, "Oh, no. I don't mean to ask to deprive you of your weapon. No, you keep that. I just
okay. Yeah, is there a tree close enough that we could cut off something club like?
Yeah, it'll take a little time, but yeah, you could.
Or even if there's debris, like I would literally just pick up some kind of like,
Well, there's
Yeah.
plenty of debris.
yeah, like even if there was just like a piece of like, the ship or whatever, I would just even use that just to wield as a club.
Awesome.
Yeah.
A few points of clarification. Do we still have I take it since we went straight from combat to a shipwreck, we're still at the HP we were at before, right?
No, you would be at full HP.
Full? Okay.
All right,
Uh,
sweet.
Brother Tal made sure you guys stayed alive while you were kind of out.
Well, that was
Okay.
nice of him.
My next question is, while they're talking, I'm searching for my coin pouch. I'm making sure I still have that 8 gold on me.
All right.
The important things
roll
in
a
life.
D6. Instituting a rule from a different game, the luck roll.
5.
5. Yes, you do.
Excellent. Okay. I breathe a sigh of relief and I look around to see them trying to fumble.
As
I'll help
you
them to try to
search for your coin pouch, you feel it's there, but like as soon as you touched it, it kind of like falls off. It was dangling like just on.
Oh yeah, I pick that up quick and look around, make sure nobody.
No one saw it, but it was just you were very. It almost came. It got lost in the crash, but it somehow just literally hung on by a thread.
Excellent. I'm pleased with that. Yeah, and I'll go over and help them speed up the process of getting a branch for him to wield.
Well, I think he's getting debris from the ship.
Yeah, I would just grab the debris or whatever,
Oh,
just
okay.
a big old piece of wood that I can,
Yeah, I'll say
at least for now.
To the ship, but it's got some of the iron banding like on the end.
Mm-hmm.
So mechanically, it'll work as a club, but it just
Perfect.
It looks more like a weapon.
Yeah.
I'll point out to the black sand and I'll say, "That looks hot."
Oh no, I think Nanduri said he was walking over that way.
Yep.
I start to shout out to him. I'm like, well, this will be interesting.
Yeah, so Nanduri, I'll say you walk pretty much the 10 feet, you get to the edges of black sand. You can feel it. It's hot. There's heat coming right off of it. It's radiating onto you. And you can see the rain as it hits.
So I'll just like gingerly put one foot out on it.
All right.
Do I feel it like coming through my
So
boots?
you put foot down. About 10 seconds, you start feeling it burn.
All right, yeah, I'll step back, and if I need to, I'll douse the soul.
It's hot, but it's not like instant. You put your foot down, it'll burn your foot right off. But it didn't take long for that to happen, but it wasn't instantaneous.
Yeah, I'll look back to the others and kind of shrug like, it's kind of sizzling the bottom of my feet here.
And at that point, you hear this really like inhuman and something big roaring from the forest behind. Doesn't sound like it's that close by, but as you're investigating this beach, something from the forest, very briefly, you start hearing something crashing through the forest.
Just so I have my bearings straight, when the ship crashed, we crashed on a beachhead, right?
Yep.
And that beachhead itself wasn't the black sand, but there's a portion of the beach that is this black sand.
The picture I sent in the Facebook chat is exactly what you're on, that little bottom portion that's regular sand.
Okay, yeah, the brownish.
Yep, that's
Then I
regular
see that.
sand. Yep.
Okay, I
Not
got it.
big, but
And where did
Okay.
Risa go? Did she go into the jungle, I assume, or into the forest?
went into the jungle. Yep.
Yeah.
She was told to scout up.
Yep. Great. And so I might look over to Nanduri if he's come back a little bit, or I would have probably followed a little ways behind him, and I would say, well, and Risa was a human, right?
Yes.
Okay. I would say, well, I hope the human female didn't rouse that thing, whatever we hear crashing, but you may need that hammer and that axe now.
Indeed.
It was horrible to put because now I'm laughing. All All right. So Ivar, as you get up there to where Nidori is, you can feel as soon as you get close to this black sand,
Mm-hmm.
it just you feel the heat just radiate off of you.
Yep. Okay.
And I'm close to Brother Ivar. Yeah, I'm just kind of sticking next to him for now.
All right. So same as you, you get up there, you can feel just the heat radiating off of it, and once again the rain falls, little steam.
And we look out, and I assume it's just this black sand as far as we can see.
Yep.
Okay. And so I think at this point, I would kind of like, I'd be, fumbling with like something under like where my chest is, right? Like underneath my cloak. Just kind of fiddling with it with one hand, holding the club in the other. And then I kind of look from Nidori to Grimwald and back. And then I say, well, lads, looks like we either die a hot, miserable death on this sand as those poor souls have, pointing out to the skeletons, or we take our chances with whatever's crashing through the jungle behind us. What do you say?
I will look back toward the sand, and as a dwarf, do I have any idea what this sand comes from? Does this feel like volcanic
Make
something?
make an intelligence check.
And what am I rolling for that again? It's been a while.
D20.
Are you using roll under, or are you using the optional rules on page 153 for the ability rolls?
And that's a 14 intelligence.
Where's my basic fantasy book?
So on 153, if we're second level, you'd need a 16 target number to succeed.
You shall edit this part of it.
Yeah, it's all right. That's why we record it. I mean, it depends, right? We could keep it as because it shows the learning.
Yes, that's right. Nope. It is under oath. Yeah, we were talking about Pathfinder earlier. That's why I had the whole.
That's all right. But just so for clarification, so if you ever ask us to make a sort of ability test, that's what we're going to use.
Yep. There's a target number. You got to roll.
Okay. Yep.
Roll under it. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait.
Well,
where's that in the book?
So on page 153, it's a roll at or over. But if we're using, we can use roll under, which is fine. But the ability rolls on page 153. The target
that was how I ran it. Was the ones on page 153. I don't know any other way.
Oh, so it's roll over that. Yeah,
it is
roll over. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you could do. There's so many things you could do, right? You could do saving throw. You could do a D6. You could do this, or you could do roll under. It's up to you. But that's fine. It's in the book.
Do the roll for ability check, just because I'll never remember it the other way. We'll do roll over.
Okay. Good deal.
So you were one shy of it, I think, right?
2. I think. Yeah. I got a 14.
No, you're not. Not sure. I mean, if you get close and look at it, it is sand.
Okay.
It is, for some reason, is black and very warm. Not warm, hot. It's hot. At that point, you start hearing commotion from the rest of the crew behind. If you zip around. Well, I don't know. Does anyone turn around?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This thing.
Oh, great.
It's about 1 foot long, about a 2 foot wingspan. The bug. It's black with like a bluish tint to it.
Yeesh, a foot long bug.
It's buzzing around. And see a bunch of crew that are pointing at it, yelling at it. Need to organize my notes.
So I lost my short bow. Do I have my quiver, but the arrows fell out? Or do I have any of my arrows left?
Probably.
Yeah, I'd say they're probably gone.
Yeah, there's no way the arrows would have survived. All right. So you see a bunch of them pointing at it. It's focused more around where the rest of the crew are and the NPCs. This thing is buzzing, kind of like hovers. It's almost like it's looking at them. It flies around. And you see it kind of dives in. It doesn't, and it pulls up before it reaches them and dives back up. You start seeing one crew member. Starts itching violently. He's like, what the hell? And you see everyone kind of like steps back from him. He just keeps itching. He starts itching so hard, you start seeing blood drawn from where he's itching. And then, coming from the jungle where they are, you see these things.
The hell are those?
They are about the size of grapefruits.
Oh,
They have. Did I not write down any of this stuff? Oh, there they are. Okay. They're about the size of grapefruits. They have these blue-green shells, and you can see the shells pop up, and there's these like transparent wings that pop out, but they're crawling on the ground. And once again, you see the thing flying, dive down, and see people, as it comes down, people jump out of the way. But I'll say now that you look, you see as it came down, it released a cloud of something. Now, one guy is still, you see his arm is like partly covered in blood now. He's just walking away. He's like, but he's walking back, but he's focusing on his arm, just itching it like crazy. And his hand is like covered in blood right now.
Oh man.
not cool, man.
Yeah, I think I would start to take a step or two towards him because I feel like I could potentially heal him. If the Lord of Light graces me with his power. So I would start to do that, making my way towards him.
All right, so we will go into initiative now.
Ooh, rolled a 6.
There they go.
Oh man, why? What? Don't let me walk towards the thing. Come on.
If you think Grimwald's going to stop you, well, he might start to actually consider
Who got the 6?
if this
Ivar?
guy dies.
I did, yeah. Ivar got the 6.
That's not good.
And this is just a straight D6.
Yep.
Plus your dex.
Plus your dex modifier.
Yeah. Okay, so 4 for Naduri.
5 for Grimwald.
Oh, you guys are going okay. So Ivar, you go first. As you see, one guy, there's one crew member. Pretty much everyone is scattered. One crew member is just scratching his arms very violently, and it's bleeding. You see these new the land bugs. They all when they were coming out, they all seem to be converging on him at the moment.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the one thing is still flying around up in the air.
How many land bugs are there?
There are 5 of them.
All right, just so we're clear, Brother Ivar saw that is he about to walk into a cloud of this noxious gas?
No,
stuff?
it's not like No, you won't walk into it. It's like dropped and it's spread and disperses.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think what I would do then is, as I'm seeing this, I would, God, I don't know. To me, I look at this, I looked back to my companions and be like, look, the bugs are converging on him. Something to do with that flying one. We need to help him.
Yeah, and you see Andros the captain pulls out a sword. You see Vili the mage somehow whips out of his robe. He pulls out what looks like a wand.
I think the best way you can help him is to put him out of his misery, or just
So Ivar, you're first. What are you doing?
Well,
the holy man with no weapons.
yeah, at this point, well, yeah, I just carrying, a piece of ship debris. I think I would honestly, I don't know if I got a chance to pray, to be honest with you, so I may not have my spells or my spell available.
Don't.
Yeah, so then in that case, I think I would start at this point. I would pause at Grimwald's words, thinking about it, and I would sort of say under my breath, is it more humane to save many by allowing that man to die than to try to save him and potentially lose more lives? And then I would drop to my knees and I would pull out my holy symbol and I would say, I would start to pray, Lord of Light, hear my prayer, give me guidance, tell me what to do, that whole thing. And so I'm starting to do that, but I won't go in and try to save the man.
Okay. And as you can see, the other crew members, as this guy is scratching and you see these bugs kind of converge on him, they're all like veering away from him.
Right. Okay.
So Grimwald, you're up.
Yeah, I see Brother Ivar
You're only
basically.
about 10 feet away from him.
Yeah, basically like drop to his knees and start to pray or whatever. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? And I will I'll run the 10 feet up to him and I'll just kind of be like, I'll point to the situation there as they're getting closer to converging on this guy. Be like, there's no helping this guy. You got to get away from that. It's not worth it sacrificing yourself to try to save this guy. I'll start to pick up Brother Ivar and try to drag him back or get him to his feet at least.
Yeah, and I think seeing that and seeing the crew backing away from this man, I'll take that as the sign from was it Arden, the Lord of Light, that I'm supposed to live to fight another day, and so I'll let Grimwald, to the best of his ability, kind of pull me up.
I'll kind of
get
my hands under your shoulder, underneath your armpits like this, and then I'll just kind of squat.
Yep, and I'll lift up and I'll be like, you're stronger than you look.
That's what she said.
And I would look puzzled.
Probably this ominous music, like these bugs are converging on this one guy.
Yep.
So Nadur, you're up.
Am I close enough to get to one of the beetles?
Yeah, I mean it's a 10 feet away, but yeah, you can easily like move and attack if you wanted.
Okay, yeah. So I'm intending to smash some bug guts with my dwarven hammer.
Okay. So as you run up, this won't stop your attack, but you see the wings come out and it doesn't fly, it like hops. They like the one you go like kind of starts like hopping, just
And I don't think I have any. Oh, I've got a +2. So that's a 14 to hit.
Ooh, that misses. So as you go in, you take your warhammer and swing. It just it hopped right over your hammer, your swing. Hit the ground.
This is not going to be good, guys.
Oh, because you know what? It's the other thing's turn.
He looks like, oh.
All right. So as you do that, you swing. You look up. You see that black flying thing coming in right at you. Make a dragon breath save.
Right. I have +3 on that. Oh.
Good luck, brother.
Unnatural 20.
Ah, okay. All right. So it comes in and you just like something like as it comes down, it swoops up before it hits you. But as it swooped up, it's like something came out of it. And I'll say you just do you have a shield or something?
I used to.
You used to, okay. So I'll say
I'm wearing mail, I think.
Okay, so you put your hammer up and you just pivot out of the way enough where whatever this thing released, it just kind of hits the ground. You got lucky.
Ooh.
So and it flies off, and you just look like you feel slight itches, but like you just a couple scratches and it's done. But now it's the beetle's turn. All right.
And they love you.
Rip.
Yeah.
For the random crew.
Yeah, this one is Ringo.
Yeah.
All right. So the one crew member that's walking away, one of them kind of, you see its wings kind of like come out and it just hops up onto him. Like right here. And you just hear a bite and he yells out in pain. But then you also see, I'll say cinematically, you see like almost like a proboscis just go right into his neck.
Ooh.
You'll see what happens next round.
Great.
All right. So Nadur, you're gonna get probably a couple attacks actually.
Well, why not?
So a 12. Does a 12 hit?
No.
Does a 14 hit?
No.
All right. So 2 of them fly up. As after you do your pivot and you kind of like scratch, one of them looks like it's jumping right out your face. I'll say you just kind of put up your hammer and it bounces off your hammer and falls to the ground. And then the other one looks like it was trying to catch you off guard, but your hammer arm, you just kind of put to the side and it bounces off like your armor into the ground.
Nice.
Now you look around, you're seeing two of them. I mean, you knock them down, they're on their back, so they kind of flip up, no problem. It looks like they're just rearing up at you, and you can see their mandibles and their legs are almost like claws. They're just kind of like clicking at you. And there's two more that are, they're moving. They're converging towards that one guy that's got one latched onto him right now. All right, Ivar.
So Grimwald sort of pulled me up and was like, it's not worth it. But Naduri ran in. And so now I look to Grimwald and I'm like, we got to save our companion, don't we?
I hesitate. I'm like,
When you have a warhammer, everything is a nail.
I say, perhaps you're right. He looks like he can handle himself. We'll stay here and make sure to cover his back. And if he gets in trouble, well, then we can go in.
Sure.
All right, I'm glad we agree then.
So pretty much, Ivar, Grimwald, are you doing anything your turn?
Nope, delaying.
Nope. Okay.
Oh God.
I'm.
You got this, Naduri.
Start praying for me there.
I was. I was.
I'm gonna look.
He's praying for everyone.
Yeah, some little punk, stopped me from doing it.
I'm gonna look behind me and I'm gonna see what the rest of the crew is doing.
They're in front of you, actually. You guys never
Okay.
really moved.
They're in front of me, so they're closer to the forest than we are, and
Well,
they're
no,
not getting
because
attacked.
where you are on the beach, you all walked to 10 feet forward to get to the black sand. And then the attack happened kind of like behind you with the rest of the crew. Naduri's the only one who ran back.
Yeah, we kind of just turned around and
Because
we're like,
Ivar
I
kind of
see.
like stopped. He's pretty much where he was before, just went to the ground praying. You kind of like picked them up. You guys actually haven't moved yet.
Okay, so when I look back at the crew, do I see any of them that have any semblance of a bow on them?
Let's find out.
that was
Oh.
nice if our scout showed up.
Yes. And let's see how many. Okay. Two of them.
All right.
You
Are
see
either
how
of
they're
the
starting? They went to get arrows, but they're like, I don't know if it's panic or shock or what's going on. Both of them, as they pull the arrows, they drop to the ground. So now they're picking up that one arrow to knock. You see Andros with his sword out. It looks like he's about to charge in. Vili has his wand. It looks like he's in the middle of doing something internally. You don't know.
Okay. I run over to how far away are they from me?
He's not around.
The crew.
No, just pretty much 10 feet to anybody.
Okay. I use my move to run over to one of them that is messing with their bows. Probably the one that's the least, in the middle of trying to do something, and I just take their bow and pick up an arrow off the ground.
Okay,
And
these are longbows.
Oh, they're longbows. Oh, I'm short.
Oh, wait, Sam, are you recording? I forgot to click start recording.
I am.
Shit. Okay. Crap.
All right.
Yes, these are longbows.
Yeah. Okay. So now that bit of information is there, I don't do that. I would
Other
see.
humans, yeah, they'd be longbows.
Yeah, I see that from a distance. I don't run up to them and I don't try to confiscate their bow and arrow. Oh gosh. Why? I don't want to run in and stabby.
So don't.
I look back, I see the guy, they look like they're getting ready to engage. And I say to
Yes.
Brother Ivar, I basically I say it to myself and loud enough for Brother Ivar to hear, and I'm like, I can't believe we're doing this right now. And I unsheathe my short sword and I try to run up to the bug that just attacked Naduri and to flank him, that bug.
Okay. Well, there's 2 of them that went after him, but okay.
Okay, the one on the left.
Okay.
So Caleb, my thought was that I would have sort of delayed my action until. So would I be able to then go immediately after Grimwald?
You can, yeah.
Okay, so I guess I would do the same thing, and I would sort of look up into the sky and be like, Lord of Light, and then I would say something like, illuminate my path or something, and then I would charge in with my club.
Okay. So you guys are attacking. All right.
Yeah, so we are close enough to run in and attack?
Oh yeah, it's
all right.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be battlefield grid.
Yeah.
It's within a movement to get there easily.
Now, when I
rolled a
attack
foe.
with my melee weapon, I know I use my attack bonus, but do I also add strength or dex?
Only for damage, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
So I did not hit, unless a 4 hits.
4 does not hit.
Well, I mean, did you add if you're attacking one of them from behind, you'll get your +2.
All right, so 6.
6 doesn't hit either.
Okay. Tried.
Yeah, thanks.
I
figured when he said a 14 didn't hit, I was like, okay. Yeah.
They're moving around a lot. As you guys approach, you can see they start kind of like they're not big. They're the size of a grapefruit, and they're like hopping.
Right.
I got a 6 as well.
All right. So both of you run. So Nadura, you see your compatriots come in, try and go after the ones that attacked you. Ivar just comes in with this makeshift club, goes to attack one like a downward stomp, and the thing like just jumped way out of its way, and then his club comes down. And we'll say Grimwald tried to go after the other one, and he tried to do like a thrust, but as he did that, the thing just once again kind of like just hopped up high, thrusted, and as the sword came back, it came back down on the ground. All right, Naduri.
All right, now I'll turn to the 2 of them. Let me show you how it's done. And I'll rear back and totally bomb with the 13.
That's perfect.
Slam the sand really hard with the warhammer again.
All right. So I'll say what happened is you said so when Ivar's came down, it smacked a bunch of sand came up, and that's when you said, "I'll show you how it's done." You turn around to swing, just the sand gets in your face first.
Yeah.
And it misses. Actually, you weren't far. You weren't far off.
I don't think that's how it's done, dwarf.
Well, not if you keep knocking sand in my beard. I'll just go sand out of my beard for the
Why are we here?
So at this point, you see Villy. Looks like he was almost in a trance. He takes that wand and he looks like he's tracking the flying one. And he points it up, and this little, it looks like almost like a greenish like arrow comes out, flies right after, and it looks like it follows the bug, and like the bug almost knows it. The bug goes into like a loop and like a barrel roll, and the arrow like does the same thing flying after it. Eventually, the arrow seems to smack it, and it doesn't kill the thing, but you see it hit, and you hear like a little screech, and you see it's like flying kind of like it like zigzags like a lazy fly, but it recovers and starts flying again. You really kind of like go like shit, like he was expecting more. So Andros comes in. Oh, that will hit. Okay.
Oh, Nate, you would add your strength bonus for a melee attack, as well as your attack bonus.
Oh, it is for both. Okay.
Would
Yeah.
a short sword be like a finesse weapon? Would it be dex, or is it just?
I don't think so.
I don't think this
Yeah, I
game
don't-
has that.
Yeah, no. Okay, so 7.
Yeah.
No, still 6 because my strength is 0.
All right, so Andros comes in. He takes out. He's got like mechanically it's a longsword, but it looks like a saber or like a saber or cutlass kind of type sword. He comes in. You see the thing's hopping. He goes in for a strike, but he almost like pauses, like he's checking a hop. And one hops up. He just cross swings, slices one right in half, and you see it fall to the ground. The rest of the crew, the 2 guys with the bows, they finally get the arrows and Yeah, became I rolled a 2 and a 3. Okay.
Dang it.
All right. So you hear the effect, the arrows loose. They go wide. The rest of the crew, oh, they had the barrel. Okay. So the rest of the crew is they kind of put down the food and the water barrels, and they're getting their weapons out now. So next round they will attack. Now it is the bug's turn. All right, first thing we'll do is we'll go back to the guy who was scratching, and he's got the one kind of like latched onto him right now. And you saw like proboscis just kind of poke him right in the neck. Well, first you see some of its claws start scraping his gut area. And then the thing kind of like pops off his neck. He just kind of stands there, like very like you see his eyes go wide, like he starts coughing. He does another cough. Blood flies out. Coughing again. Like red chunks come out of his mouth. He goes down to his knee. Where the little scrapes were, there are like ichor and chunks like leaking out of there. Brother Ivar, I'm not gonna make you roll a check, but it looks like his organs are liquefying, like right in front of you. So Niduri, you look up. That oh no, wait, no, Niduri's over there. You're involved. So Grimwald or Ivar? Grimwald. All right, Grimwald, make a dragon breath save as this bug in the as they recover from getting hit, it dives down, pulls up and releases a cloud. It's a dragon breath save.
Dragon breath. I need a 15 or higher, and I get a +3. 13 plus 3 is 16.
So once again, you do you kind of do like a roll, like you catch it the last second, you just kind of do a roll out of the way, and you seem to avoid whatever drop. But once again, you get like a little bit of like itchiness, but you kind of like scratch, it goes away, and it kind of like fades at that point. You're like,
Yeah,
it's really bad if that hits. But now we get to go to the bugs. So Nidori, once again, those two are gonna go on you. We'll see. That's not mine, okay?
Yikes.
Uh-oh. All right.
That doesn't sound
One
good.
of them I got a 6, one of them I got a nat 20.
Oh, come on, dude.
I got to keep track because my other game in that 22nd time.
Rip.
All right, Niduri, you take 1 point of damage as from its mandibles as it just kind of bites down. And as it bites, it doesn't, it's just, it like latches on pretty much.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's a big. Thanks.
No, the proboscis, I did that more cinematically to show what happens. All right, one for, okay. Grimwald, I rolled a 2. Brother Ivar, does a 8 hit you?
No.
All right, so once again, you two, these things just hop in at you. Grimwald, once again, you just do, as you finish your roll from the other bug, you see this thing hop at you, you just pretty much roll back the other way. Ivar, I'll let you, you can either just move or deflect it with your club.
I think maybe as it hops in, like it would jump on me, right? But like it would try to tear on, and it would
it looks like it's trying to, like whatever size it's trying to like latch on, so its mouth would be like right near your neck.
Yeah, and so I think maybe what would happen is like I would turn, right, and it would like hit my shoulder, and it would try to latch on, but the chain mail underneath stops it, and I kind of like like punch it off, and it falls down a little bit. Yeah, just like.
All right, so yeah, you hear like the click as it looks like it's trying to get through, but your armor holds, and you just bat it off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's upside down, but you see it kind of like flips itself back up. All right, top of the round. So you delayed before. So Grimwald, you're first.
I'm first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ivar delayed, so his initiative got moved.
All right. So I will attempt again to stab one of these bugs that I can. Can I still attack one from behind? Like the one that I was attacking that's on
yes, if you
Niduri.
move, you could, yeah.
If I move, will I provoke an attack?
Wait, which one are you going for?
Whatever one gives me a flanking bonus without needing to move.
Well, you got that evil little flying bug on you, right?
Oh, that's up in the air now.
Yeah.
It's going after a random person each time.
Oh, okay. Oh, good.
So the way I'm seeing it is if we're all kind of clustered together, Niduri is probably getting attacked by one that I don't need to move. I can just turn around and like hit it in the back.
Niduri has one latched onto him.
Oh, latched onto him.
Yes. I will give you I would honestly give you your sneak attack bonus to that also, but if you roll bad enough, you will probably hit Niduri.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'm gonna get
But
that
I will,
bug off.
since its main focus is that I will allow you to get its sneak attack.
Yeah. I carefully I
There's
come
a
up.
chance you will skewer Niduri instead.
I come in kind of sideways. I kind of turn my dagger to the short sword to the side, and I try to pierce it. And as long as he doesn't shift forward, then I won't get him.
There you go.
So it's okay. So the sneak attack bonus is +4. I get my regular attack bonus and my strength, which I don't have any. So it's going to be a total of +5.
That's huge in this game, +5.
Yeah, it is.
9 + 5 is a 14.
Oof.
We cannot hit these
You know
things.
what though? This thing does get the bonus when it's hopping. This one's not hopping. So that'll actually hit. They get a bonus when they're hopping around.
Okay.
If it is latched, that'll hit.
So do you want to do double damage, double what I rolled, or roll twice?
I
think you just roll an extra die for your.
Okay.
Well, how do we'll decide this now? Do we want to roll twice or just double what you roll?
Well, let's see. It what does it say? Let me find it here.
I like
whatever,
roll twice personally.
Yeah, roll twice or just double. What do we want to do?
Doubling sucks if you roll a 1.
Yeah.
All right, so roll twice.
Yeah. Okay. 4 + 2 is 6.
All right. You can explain how you take this thing off Niduri. It's dead.
Yeah. So, like I said, I come at it from the side and I time it right, and the sword just goes through it. It punctures its carapace, and it just comes off with the sword, and it's on the sword. I finish it all the way down to the ground, and I put my boot on it, and I pull the sword up out of it.
Yeah, and as you pulled it off Niduri, you could see coming out of its mandible is this nasty looking thin stinger or proboscis stinger coming out. It was about to ram that right into Niduri's neck. You skewed with its sword, took it off, slid it off with your foot, and just stomped it pretty much.
No,
Lets out this screech and it's dead. All right, Ivar.
All right. Well, if Niduri is no longer in immediate peril, then I will attack the little bug that tried to attack me. Ooh, a natural 17, so a 19.
Oh, that'll hit.
All right. And with my makeshift club, 3 points of damage.
Almost. All right. So this thing, you kind of engage with each other. It kind of, you can see it rears up. It goes to hop, and you just time it right. We just wham, and you hear a nice, almost like a baseball. You hear a nice whack, like you hit it.
Nice.
And it looks like it just stuns it in midair for a second, and then it just plops to the ground. But you start seeing its leg move, and it slowly,
cursed hellbug, die.
Slowly stomps itself right side up. All right, Niduri.
I'm gonna go for another.
These bugs are pretty nasty.
Hammer whack on one of these. All right, and that is an unnatural 20.
Unnat 20, okay. All right, that will hit.
All right, and that is lost the die. That is 2. There's no mods on those, are there?
For damage?
Yeah.
Oh, your
strength mod, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So no mod for me. Yeah. So just 2.
2, okay. So 2 are dead, 2 are injured. Okay. All right. So you take your hammer and you go to down like a downward stomp. As it starts to hop away, you catch like part of
Yeah.
it, like its shell. Like you caught half, almost like a little bit more in a grazing shot, not a full on hit. And you smack it, and it kind of, as it hops in the air, it kind of like jumps up like sideways, and it kind of like
Yeah.
there's a crappy tumble. But once again, you see its legs skitter, and it hops back up on its side. But it's this one, you can see like a green, like just ichor like running from it. All right, so everyone else, all the other guys' turn. So the guys with bows, let's do them. Oh, that
Are they
one.
actually going to be useful?
One will
this
miss,
time?
one will hit. Okay, not too much damage on that thing. So, all right. So the big fly. Is that me? No. So that big flying thing. You see the 2 guys take out bows, notch them, look. One guy lets loose, goes wide. Another guy takes a little bit longer to aim, lets loose. And the arrow, it doesn't stick right in this thing, but once it's like a grazing shot, and you can tell it hits it, and it kind of like it's flying, like it's very quick, fine flying. You see kind of like lazily start to fly and hearing a screech, but once again, it kind of like composes itself.
It's still up.
Still up. It's a decent, it's about this big a bug, yeah.
It got blasted by that
You feel
green dart too.
Yes, the good old classic magic missile.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a wand of magic missiles. All right. So once again, Billy, he has wand. You see him, he's holding it like this. He goes in contemplation more and launches it. Oh, almost. If I'd rolled better, it would have been dead. So once again, green arrow comes out, flies, smacks this thing right in its abdomen, and you see a burst of like, this thing has like red, not blood, but like an ichor almost burst out of this thing. And you can see its wings. It's still flying. It's still there, but it like the wings stop. It like sinks and it just picks itself back up. This thing's not doing too well. But it is still flying around. All right. Now Andros. Oh no, Andros rolled an 8. So Ivar, the one that you were fighting, you see Andros tried to come in from behind and get, once pretty much do the same thing, just cut this thing in half with its saber. But as he went in, the thing like kind of hopped. He went for a downward strike and it hopped like over his sword. And he once he like cursed like, God damn it. And then the rest of the crew, they have their weapons out. So that's, we'll just see. This is just the generic. Let's see how much. Scattered. Okay. So the one that's untouched, you see about 4 crew members with swords. They all kind of just bum rush this thing. It's almost comical looking, but I mean, considering the situation you're in, it's not. But it's probably comical looking. They charge in this little bug. You see it hop up, and you just see a bunch of swords slinging. You see the thing hop up above them, but then as it comes down, one of them like catches it on a point, and the rest of them just kind of like hack at it as it's there. And see, this thing just falls apart off this guy's sword. Like pretty much it hopped up. One guy poked it, and as he brought it down, it was still buzzing, and the rest of them just like hacked away at it as it was on the sword. And you see pieces of it just kind of fall off, and they start cheering.
Was this one of the hopping bugs, or is this the flying bug?
That was the hopping bug.
All right.
So there's 2 more of them left that are, both of them are pretty heavily injured. The flying one's pretty heavily injured too. But now they get to go. All right, so the flying one. Oh, who didn't I go after yet? I did Naduri, I did Grimwall. Let's go for Ivar this time. So this thing flies around. It almost falls again. It picks itself up as it turns around. It's actually not far from you, Ivar. And instead of doing, it's like it dives in and pulls up, and it just kind of like flies right above your head level. It doesn't even try and do its dive, and it just flies right above, and you can see like it's the bottom of it kind of like open up a little bit, and this cloud comes out. Dragon breath save.
It's my worst one. Oh, I made it. Whew.
Oh.
Success.
All right. So once again, you just kind of like, I'll say you just like duck, and you can feel like on your neck, you just start itching a little bit. But when you give it a decent scratch, it kind of like fades. At first, you might think one of those bugs latched on, but no, it's just whatever this thing's releasing seems to. I mean, you've seen it just itches. You can tell you. I should have said this earlier. Everyone that's dodged this, you can. It's like almost like a sickly sweet smell. Whatever this thing is releasing, it's almost like it's pheromones. All right, so who's up? The bugs. Oh, there's still one on. There's one on Ivar and one on Niduri. Wow, 9 and a 4. So both of them miss. So once again, they jump up, and you can either block with your weapon or just pivot out of the way. However, but they just. I mean, they didn't have a chance. Once they look like they try and go directly for your neck.
Mm-hmm.
You can either just dodge, bat out of the way, block it. However,
Matrix dodge.
yeah, okay, yeah. As
Nice.
you just kind of, we're in slow mo,
Yeah.
and it pretty much lands behind you, and you pivot as it goes by you. So it landed behind you, but you're facing it now. All right, Grimwald, you're up.
Oh, Brother Ivar isn't? I thought he was top of the initiative.
He delayed and moved.
Oh, okay. I thought he delayed last turn. He's doing it again.
No, I think Caleb has decided that permanently put me in the next spot.
Yeah,
on
I've
the
always
initiative.
run every game that if you delay when you act, that's now your new initiative.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's fair.
No idea
Okay.
if it's written that way, but that's how I'm going to do it.
Well,
Okay,
if you
cool.
want to do it as written, we would roll every turn for initiative.
No, I don't
but
wanna do
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, too much paperwork. Yeah, I'll just pick the closest one. Niduri's fighting one, right?
Niduri and Ivar are both have one engaged.
All right, I'll go behind the one that Niduri's fighting, and I'll stab it.
All right.
14 plus 3 is a 17.
That will hit.
Excellent. 3 points of slashing damage.
All right, that will kill it.
Yeah.
So you can describe. So it looks like it's focusing all in Niduri.
Yeah, so it probably like Niduri's probably just about to actually smash it and kill it. Like he set it up, he teed it up just right with his first hit, and then he's getting ready to just smash this thing, and then I come in out of nowhere and I just like skewer it, and then I like pull it out and I kind of look up to him and I wink, and then I kind of run off towards the next one.
At this point, there's only one left. The one on Brother Ivar,
Awesome.
who is now up.
Apparently, these bugs are stout and fight to the death. Let us see if I can grant its death. And no, I don't think so. 10.
Womp womp.
10, nope. All right, so once again, you go in. Now you've tried downward stomp, you tried the cross, so you go almost for like a diagonal, but whatever way you go in diagonal, it just kind of like hops the other way.
Yep.
All right, Niduri, you're up.
All right.
You see Grimwald's in front of you, kind of winking at you.
Yeah, and I just give like a look of disgust. Like I was about to finally smash one of these things really good. You just stole my thunder. So I will go and try and help out Ivar.
So you look around real quick, and it seems to be the only bug. Well, the flying one's still up there, but these ground bugs, that seems to be the only one left.
I got a 5 to attack the one with Ivar.
So this thing so Ivar tried to like diagonal strike with the club and it hopped the other way, and where it landed, you kind of came running in, tried to do his downward stomp, downward chop with your hammer on it, and it somehow sensed you were there, and it just kind of, it almost like rolled. It didn't roll, but like it just kind of like quickly like moved forward, and you just hit the sand, and you see it right in front of you, and you see it's
really
like
good at that.
you're facing its backside, and you see its wings kind of like flutter at you as you're right down there.
I will
Nice.
curse it in Dwarvish.
It mooned you. All right. So now we'll go to the bow guys. Oh, they will both hit.
About time.
Yeah, right. Good to have a
Max
bow.
damage on that one. Holy
Ooh,
cow. Okay. You guys got lucky here. So they both
what?
see both of them. They pull out the arrow and they don't. And it looks like they aim, but they don't launch right away. They seem to track the thing. So now it's moving a little like slower, and kind of in unison, they both let go. And these arrows, both of them hit. One of them hits in the head, and one of them hits in the tail. And it just where they hit, those arrows keep going with those parts attached to it. And in the middle of the bug just flops to the ground.
Excellent.
All right, and then Andros. Oh, well, he hits. I think he has 1 hit point, so he's gonna. So pretty much, Ivar and Nidori, the one that you've been coming. Nidori, as this thing kind of like fluttered at you, you just see a sword come straight down, right through its thorax. You see Andros is like heaving, like, it's enough of these damn things. And he pulls the sword out, and see it's got this like green blood on it. And at this point, look around. No more bugs. But the one guy who had the bug latched to him, he is laying in a high, and like there is a puddle of like this thick reddish orange goo. And you still, out of pretty much every orifice, you still see slowly like his whole body except the skeleton is just like liquefying.
Well,
Ooh.
that's gross.
It was pretty much save versus poison or die with these guys.
Wow.
Good start. It's a good start to the island, right?
Let's put this dude out of his misery.
Oh, he's dead.
Well,
He's
there we
dead,
go.
but you still see the stuff come pouring out.
Gross.
And you see everyone kind of surviving crew members, kind of like everyone kind of sits on the ground. They're all kind of shell shocked. See some of them are like taking their swords, like poking at the pieces of the bug, looking at one. You see one guy like pick up a piece of sword, like looking at it, and you see the bug just like flinches a little bit, and he just like knocks it off his sword and like. You see Brother Tal starts like where that one happened. You see him he starts like praying like a almost kind of like a native hex he's doing on the thing.
Did the guy have any like equipment that is useful?
He would have had a longsword.
See, thinking like an OSR player. Good job. Loot the body.
Well, I can't use the longsword, but somebody can.
He didn't have a shield, did he?
No, he did not.
Well, wait, no, longswords, they're medium weapons, right? I would just have to use it two-handed.
Yeah, you could use it two-handed, I think.
Longsword is a medium weapon. I'll pick that up.
It's like a great sword for you.
Yeah, to a halfling, it's like
Yeah,
a great sword or
basically.
a bastard
Yeah,
sword or
that one I
something.
strap to my back. My short sword I keep sheathed over here, but the long sword, yeah, that's strapped to my back like a big claymore.
Yeah, I feel like it actually reaches down and touches the ground, so it'll like make like a trail behind him.
Yeah, it probably would.
I think as all this is going, like as he's sort of, pulling the sword on and whatever, I would just be like, with this stupid, like, piece of wood that I have, just starting like slowly looking just haggard and whatever, just starting to like dig into the sand. Just trying to like, and then maybe I would like reach down and start digging with my hands if this thing was ineffective. Close enough to the body that, that I'm not going to hopefully have to move it very far.
Before you go too far, I say, wait. I don't know what your religion teaches or anything like that, but I know that a lot of them do funeral pyres. Just saying, there's some very hot sand over there. You could just put the body on the sand and do all this work.
And without stopping my digging, I would say some in my order do like to give last rites by the fire. Others believe burying in the ground, but I've read accounts in the books of the dead. Sometimes returning to the land of the living if you're not careful, and burying them underground and consecrating them with holy water. Well, the books say that's the way to prevent that. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And so,
Okay.
yeah, so I'll keep trying to dig a grave. And, you know, if anyone wants to help me, that's fine. If nobody wants to, that's fine too.
I mean, by the time you get a whole dog, there's not much left of him as his body's
Yep.
like starting to liquefy at this point.
Yeah,
Gonna sweep him in.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why I felt like the funeral pyre didn't necessarily make sense, but also
If anyone tried to
yeah.
pick him up to move him, it would have
Yeah.
like whatever you picked up would have just like if you picked up his arm would have
Yeah.
come right off.
And actually maybe what I'm doing instead is not trying to dig a hole but cover him with the dirt like that, you know, or the sand. Like that's what I would have been doing, making a mound.
Well, it won't take long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the state he's in.
Yep. So I'll do that, and then I'll pull out the vial of holy water that I have and kind of, you know, dump it over the mound there, and do like a blessing. You know, the Lord of Light take you into the next world and protect you and those, you know, that you've left behind, that whole thing, right? And then I think at that point I would sit down on the beach, just totally like, ugh. And I'm just kind of done.
All right. At this point, also the rain kind of lets up. Where the black sand beach was kind of misty before because of the rain, but now it's after a minute or two, the mist kind of rolls away, and once again you can see this endless stretch of heated black sand. There are some bodies scattered throughout there, and some of them you saw glints off of.
Yeah. Grimwald's not a very creative person. He's kind of slow. He does direct things. So when he sees like the glinting off of the bodies, or like considers like, oh man, I wonder, you know, just because the skeletons are out there doesn't mean like all their stuff burnt up. But he would not be able to really conceive of a way to get over that sand. Even if I could try to come up with something myself, I don't think Grimwald would even try. That's way too hard with not enough guaranteed gain. So I'll let that one be.
Nice.
I rolled up for random equipment, and there's something good there.
On second thought,
Yeah.
after having an epiphany,
Yeah.
And
No,
you
that's
said,
fine.
you said it's like one movement speed away. The closest.
Pretty much how I'd run it, it would be like one movement to get to the first body. Like,
God, when the GM says there's skeletons in the sand, don't go out there and inspect
I
them.
mean, I went out there for the bugs. There's shiny stuff. I have a hammer. Not that I could hit anything with it. But, you know, it's enticing. Dury really wants to see what the shiny thing is.
I mean, I say you let a D6 decide. You know, I say if you roll a 1, you have to go out there.
It's a 3.
I say to you, well, I mean, I pull out my big longsword that I've kind of Jimmy rigged the sheath that guy had it in. I just kind of like, it was probably a belt, and I've just strapped it crossways across there and then adjusted it so I can put it back there. And so I kind of pull that out. I'm like, well, you could strap this to your right foot. And then I pull out my short sword. And then I say, you can strap this to your left foot. And then you're walking on the metal so your feet don't burn.
Naduri just gives like a cross-eyed look, like,
how would you strap them?
I'm not thinking about that. I'm just thinking about
I mean,
walking on metal
Yeah.
to prevent burning.
And I feel like Naduri would think, well, horses have metal strapped to their hooves. Maybe there's something to this. No.
Yeah, no. Now the wheels are turning. I've got spikes in my pack. I could totally make this happen.
Oh, you know what? How far out is? Well, no, I guess if you said it was glinting, which means it's far enough out that I can't really decipher exactly what it is from the edge of the black sand, right?
Right.
Which means I couldn't just chuck a grappling hook out there to try to fish for some gear.
Ah.
Um,
Yeah, you could. It's within grappling. Well, how long is your rope?
I've got a 50-foot rope.
Oh, actually, 2 of the things are within range of that.
Yeah, if I can throw a grappling hook 50 feet, I don't think I could.
I think it's time for a dex check.
That would be a strength check, wouldn't it? That's
Oof.
Well,
For the closer one, it'll be a dex check. For the further one way, I would say strength.
I don't know. I look at that. I look out there. And I start to worry about. I kind of look back at the island, and I start to worry about my rope. Like, rope is a very valuable thing, and if I burn it up trying to get this equipment, then it's like I am not willing to work this hard. I steal things so that I don't have to work this hard for stuff. I'm walking away.
Okay.
Naduri looks like he's about to jump out of the blocks at a like a legit race and nab whatever's on this skeleton and run back.
totally worth it. Do it.
All right. Yep.
How fast
yep.
can you run?
I'm gonna haul it out there. First skeleton, what's up?
All right, make a dex check.
Oh God. That would be an 8, a
Okay.
natural 8.
All right. So, okay. You'll be able to get out there, get back, but you will take 2 points of damage just from burning. But, and here's the funny thing, I rolled this randomly. You get up to that skeleton, you look down, you go for his glinting. It's a warhammer. I actually rolled for that randomly.
All right, so now I've got 2 warhammers.
Yeah, or you could, think about poor brother Ivar.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and his ridiculous makeshift
so you come
club.
back, your feet are like smoking, but in his hands you see like just a metal, like a warhammer.
Yeah, I'll actually walk over to the water's edge and just like cool my feet off.
Do your hands have blisters because you picked up a piece of metal off of the hot sand? That's what I'm wondering.
It was on the skeleton.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah, I'll look it over and kind of heft it, and then kind of motion it over to Ivar and.
Okay. So you like swing at the air a couple times. It feels solid. It feels very similar to the one you have. Like nothing.
I don't know about that. I mean, mine's pretty special.
Mine was decidedly not. So
yeah, I'll chuck it over to Ivar.
I think, I think as he throws it, Thor style or whatever, like, you would see me like, kind of there, just like with my hands over my head or whatever. And as this thing comes at me, I'm like, whoa. And but way bigger reaction than you would normally expect. And I would look up. And I would I would look over to Naduri and be like, maybe next time we get in a fight, you ought to throw a hammer instead of try to whack with it. Unless you were trying to hit me and you missed. Anyway, I pick it up.
We'll give a really dirty look at that.
Yeah.
And just continue to cool his feet off in the water.
I would pick it up and heft it and then kind of just give him a nod, hold it up.
now that Grimwald saw some success from Naduri and that that wasn't actually too bad.
Don't do
Well, yeah, how
anything else is a little further out. That was the closest one.
okay, how much further though?
Oh no. The next thing is about 50 feet out from the edge.
And how far was this one?
That was 30 feet.
30 feet for 2 points of damage, 50 feet for potentially more. Okay, I have an idea. Okay, hear me out. So
This
here's
is
the deal.
where characters
Pick you up
die.
and throw you.
Oh, toss the
that's gonna-
halfling.
That's gonna get me pretty far if you're able to do that. But here's my thinking.
Throw the halfling.
I'm gonna take all my stuff off except my clothes, and my shield. I have a like a small shield, a buckler,
Mhm.
and what I want to do is to run as far as I can, and then once I start to feel the pain or whatever, I'm gonna put the shield down on the sand and stand on it to let my feet cool off for just a second, and then run a little bit further, get as far as I can, and
Now your buckler's metal, right?
yeah, it'll transfer heat, but it'll have to heat up first, just like my boots do. So at least I'm hoping I can extend the range I can run by doing that.
You know what? I do like the plan.
Oh my god! I really
I
hope
can
I
even try
find
to slide on the shield a little bit.
Oh, yeah, just,
No, my gosh, I'm gonna skateboard out to that. I'm gonna have one foot on the shield, and I'm gonna push off with my other foot, and then just switch feet.
Just row yourself.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, so
It's
make
skateboard
a make a dex check. Or should this be a save? No, do a dex check.
Okay. Is this for the whole thing or like the first half of it?
Let's see how well you roll.
All right.
So whoever says that when the magic user gets floating disc as their first level spell is stupid, it's not stupid. That would
would've
be
been a lifesaver.
that would be
Alright.
friggin' useful.
Here it goes. A 10 plus 1 is an 11.
Okay. So, okay, you get about halfway there, and your momentum kind of stops. You take 1 point of damage from just the heat burning you. But now you're about halfway there, and you're standing on your shield.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna let that.
It's kind of like, oh shit.
Yeah. I've got my feet are cooling off on the shield, so I'm not taking a whole lot of. I'm not taking any extra damage. My shield's heating up, but I only wait for just a second to just let my feet cool down, and then I pick up the shield and I make my way towards that other skeleton.
All right, go for another dex check.
All right.
The black sand will kill you guys, not the bugs.
Reed
That's
killed
a-
more thieves
It's a
than
2, but plus 1 is a 3, so it's not
Oh,
like a nat 1 or
It
anything.
wasn't a 1.
Yeah. So it's just a regular failure.
All right, let's use my metal dice. Ooh.
Oh,
Okay. So, all right.
Grimwald, you greedy son of a bitch.
Here's what happens. You do your thing again. When you get to pretty much where it is, you trip and land face first into the sand.
No.
Take 4 damage as you start feeling all your skin just burning around you.
Okay. But I made it to the skeleton?
Yes,
Okay.
there is. So you look up. Well, as you were approaching it, you saw it, and then what you saw just like distracted you enough that you just tripped and fell. It's a 2-handed greatsword.
Are you kidding me?
An actual greatsword, not a longsword, an actual greatsword. I rolled all this stuff last week randomly.
Can I carry that physically?
Yeah, you could carry it. You could drag it
You cannot attack with it, but you can carry it.
Okay. All right. As long as I can carry it.
with your half movement speed because of encumbrance, probably.
With your
I
skateboard
ditched
thing.
all my stuff.
Oh, well.
Oh, that's true.
True,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that wouldn't encumber me.
And then I will say, just because this was an interesting plan, the next skeleton was something is only about 10 feet away, and you can see its skeleton's laying down, but it's one of its arms is draped on top of like a rock. And in that hand clutching, you can see it looks like a crossbow.
Okay. How big's the crossbow? I'm 10 feet away. I should be able to tell.
It's a light crossbow for mechanically.
Can I take the great sword and plunge it into the sand and stand on the hilt to cool my feet off like a pogo stick?
I love
That's
this plan.
that's gonna require a save.
Yeah. Save versus stupidity.
Yeah, that's typically death ray usually. Yeah, death ray save. That's kind of the
I'm
catch-all.
just trying to get up out of the sand to recover a little bit. So
you have a chance to pull it off, but yeah.
Like, sure, you can try. GM's favorite words.
Anyone that's game to me knows I usually allow a lot of interesting stuff.
I need to make a death ray save then.
Yes.
Save
As opposed to what would I have to do if I just beelined it for the sword? Just another dex check to, or for the for the crossbow. Can I stand on the bones? Can I just step and stand on the bones, or will they like because they're still there out in the sand.
Why don't you try it and find out?
But if you try and like launch off of them, that will collapse them.
Okay, I'm not trying to. Again, I'm trying to not die in the sand. So I'm standing on whatever I can stand on. So, yeah.
Oh, sure, you're standing on a. Yeah. Okay.
Well, okay. No, forget it. I know what I do. I see that sword. I say no, and I take my shield and I just throw it 5 feet out in front of me, and I hop onto my shield, and then I hop over to pick up the crossbow. I hop back on my shield.
Okay. Yeah. You don't have to. I mean, a 5-foot jump, you don't have to roll.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I hit the sand. I grab the crossbow. I rip it out. Maybe the hand is still attached to it.
Yeah. The speed you do it, you rip it up, and it's like its hand and like it's this forearm right here is still attached to the crossbow.
Okay, and then I jump back to my shield, and then I wait just a second, and then I pick up my shield and I run as fast as I can to get back, halfway, stopping to cool my feet on the shield, and then running the rest of the way.
All right, because do the dex check. So you're leaving the sword.
Forget that sword. I don't need that sword. I don't need all that business.
All right.
That is a 19 plus 1 is a 20.
Oh, all right. I will let you get the whole way if you want. And you can do it in a cinematic flare if you would choose to.
Okay, so I'm running. I've got this stupid light crossbow with this hand on it. And you see my feet actually start to like turn orangish red. Like you can see it. Like, dude, this guy's going to go on fire. And then you see that. And then I throw my shield out like 3 feet in front of me. I jump on it. I slide for like another like 5 feet. And then it comes to a stop. And I just kind of sit there for a second. And then I pick it back up and I run again. And I make it all the rest of the way. And my feet don't catch on fire.
So everyone else sees, after, for the most part, pretty impressive feat. While he comes back, his skin on all the front of him is kind of like blackened right now from burning. Comes back with this crossbow with a skeletal hand attached to it.
And half hit points.
Yep.
And I, Caleb, I'll ask you this. Since I would have been... Well, how long would this whole shenanigans have taken in game time? Like less than an hour, more than an hour? We would have been sitting around. I would have been digging.
Was really quick.
Yeah.
It's probably been maybe an hour total at this point.
All right. Do you think that with the fact that I was burying the body as according to my religion, as I see it, and that I would have been praying and whatever, would that be sufficient for me to have gained my spell back?
You know what? Since you brought it up, yes, that would be. You actually did invoke Iran's name and followed his
Teachings.
teaching. That was the word. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So then I think maybe like
I'll say as this halfling comes back and you see his skin, just like he looks okay, but you see him just burnt.
yeah.
You feel like almost like Iran like reached out and touched you, and you got like invigorated.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. And I think I would stand up and I like, the hammer kind of in my hand. And then all of a sudden I would like shudder or whatever. And I think the way I would see it is like I would feel this thing, right? But then I would almost see this like glow or halo around Grimwald for a minute. And then it just as soon as, I see it, it disappears and he's like got the worst sunburn you've ever seen, right? And
I'm cursing and throwing my boots and taking my socks off and like blowing on my feet.
Yep. And I think I would approach and I would say, that was a foolish thing you did there, halfling, but looks like it paid off in the end. But I guess the stories are true. They say halflings should not go to the beach without a wide brim hat. Next time I recommend you follow the stories. And I'm trying not to laugh under my breath as I'm saying it.
I hadn't heard that one.
Ah. Oh, maybe the stories aren't true. Anyway, if you would like some relief from that, I imagine the pain that caused you, I might be able to tend to your wounds.
I'm like poking at a boil on my foot. Like, yeah, this hurts pretty bad.
All right.
I'm still deciding whether or not it was worth it.
As you poke it, like that boil like pops.
Oh gosh, it hurts so bad.
Be like, well, the light of the sun may have damaged you, but the holy light of Iran will heal you. And I'll roll my d6 here. 4 + 1 is 5 hit points.
That's exactly enough to bring me back up to not burnt.
Nice. And so I think like I would, have my hands like maybe on your shoulders or whatever. And, I'd be kind of like head bowed, eyes closed, muttering like, this incantation or whatever. And then I feel like you probably would feel this like intense heat for a minute, which sort of sucks because you already feel, the heat. Yeah. And I almost imagine that it would be like painful for a minute, but then it would like dissipate, right? Like all the heat would just dissipate and and then you'd feel like a lot better, and then I would just look up and then I'm like kind of put my hand on your shoulder to sort of steady myself a little bit. Hopefully that's helped a little. I've done what I can.
Oh, that's helped a lot. Thanks. Appreciate that.
So
And I hold up my spoils and you see a dangling skeletal hand off of it.
and as you like hold it up to show, that's when the hand kind of like falls down to the ground.
Yeah, and I would kind of jump back a little bit, and I would be like, "Let's hope the owner doesn't come back for that stolen property."
Yeah, no bolts, but you do have a crossbow.
It's a
Yeah,
start.
I can fashion some.
Not gonna
Excellent.
tell him. Not gonna tell him what else was out there.
Nope.
Okay.
And
Alright.
I would look around at this point. Is Captain Aran? Sorry, Captain. What's the captain's name?
Andros.
Andros. Is Captain Andros trying to like sort of take command, or is he just sort of chilling?
Well, pretty much everyone was watching the halfling because it was like stupid, but it worked.
Yeah.
So everyone, pretty much, it kind of entranced everyone.
Yep. Okay.
But as he comes back, as he kind of shows like a crossbow, you see Andros just kind of like shake his head like, not worth it.
Yeah.
You hear him like mutter like, not worth it. And he turns back and you see him. He's talking to the crew. It looks like you can see him like waving with his hands, trying to do something.
I'm not getting any magical vibes off the crossbow.
No, it's a plain old crossbow.
Of course it is.
I mean, a magic user might be able to tell you differently. Just a thought.
Well, when Grimwald dies from something stupid, maybe I'll make one.
There you go.
You guys survived the first first part of the first hex.
I know we were incredibly stupid and we survived, so that was good.
Hey, I mean, Naduri's just doing what, a former soldier dwarf with a warhammer is gonna do.
It's a
All
hostile,
smash.
it's a hostile island.
Dwarves.
Okay, all right. Gonna go over some base mechanics here for how exploration and travel on the island works. Um, gonna time is pretty much set up into a group called a watch. A watch is equal to 4 hours. So pretty much one full day has about 6 watches in it. Or about in like the 8 to 12 out 8 a.m. to noontime watch right now. Pretty much doing anything takes about like exploring a hex takes a watch, traveling to another hex takes a watch, and you might get lost. Traveling to the next part of like a hex is a watch. Pretty much anything you do on the island, besides where you are, it pretty much takes like a whole watch to do.
So both traveling an entire hex and traveling to another part of the same hex both take 8 hours.
The traveling to like the next part of this hex takes a watch.
And a watch is 8 hours, right?
No,
No,
4
4
hours.
Oh,
Yeah, one watch is 4 hours, and a day pretty much has 6 watches in it.
okay. So how long does traveling an entire hex take?
Well, after one watch, you'd find something probably.
Okay, I'm talking end to end. If I want to get to the next hex.
Oh, that's 4 hours, but I mean that's one watch, but you have a chance of getting lost.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
Has Risa or Rissa or whatever her name is returned?
That's actually now that the island mechanics are done. So after the whole shield thing and the wonderful crossbow loot, Ryza comes pretty much where you guys initially crashed. She comes out of the woods and she's dragging looks like a boar behind her. And she comes back. She kind of like looks around. What did I miss? And she kind of like looks around. The bug guts everywhere. Sees like a mound. But she kind of comes over, plops the boar down, and says, "Yeah, Captain, I got this. There might be more of them, but there's a lot of other stuff in this island that aren't for hunting." She says, "I went down the coast. I mean, down the forest, following the beach. Says at the far end of the beach, there's some interesting. I don't know what it is. It's like some part of the land is just sticking up out of the ground at the end of this beach." And she's pointing to like you can't see it, but she's pointing down the black beach. Says that's about as far as I got. Andros looks around and says, "Well, how is it in the jungle?" She kind of shakes her head. "Not good. It's thick. A lot of stuff in there. Probably want to eat us. Not sure how lucky we'd be going in." Then he looks. "Wow, this thing you talked about before, is that easy to get to?" Says, "Yeah, I mean, just go in the jungle, follow the beach in the jungle. Seemed to be okay. It didn't go in too deep." And just looks around. Kind of looks to you guys. I believe that's where we're headed. Are you coming with us? That's all we got right now is whatever's down there.
I got nowhere else to be.
All right. Load up, men. We're moving out. All right. So then the crew kind of gets, you see them, two of them, they can barely lift these water barrels, but they do. They lift them. They start moving. Ryza kind of disappears ahead of you into the forest again. So I'm going to advance the clock. Now it's about noontime. Let's do some water math. You each need to, so 2.5 gallons times 3. That's what, 5, 6, 7, 7.5 for the 3 of you. Okay. Where do I write that down? Right here.
Is that per hour or per day?
That'll be per day.
Okay, I
So
was
you
gonna
have to
good.
do
I was like, that would be a lot.
per hour. Drink
Yeah.
all.
I was like, oh god.
All right. So you start drinking. You can tell the heat is just coming down. Probably the sand that you're near isn't helping either, but it is hot. You're constantly having to drink more than you want to from this water skin, but you kind of have to. So you go through. You hear lots of noises in this forest. Every so often, you hear something large, just like a giant tree, almost like crashes through. You hear stuff rummaging through. Nothing ever seems to come close to you, but something is definitely out there. And I'll say, what time is it? Yeah, probably 10. But as you walk a couple hours, you kind of get close to the top of the black sand. You're in the jungle part, and you can see at the edge, it looks like it almost looks like a tree stump sticking out of the black sand. It's on the edge of the black sand. I mean, knowing what the sand is, it's probably not a tree stump, but whatever it is shaped like a tree stump. And you can see kind of on top of it, and hanging off parts of it are these birds. They are about 4 or 5 feet long. They're like a medium size, like a human sized bird. Brick red feathers that stand out with like an orange tuft of hair in the top. But what's interesting about them is where their beak is, right above their beak, almost like their nose, is this giant like spike that sticks out. Let me see if I have. Yes, I do have a picture. And so, like I said, this is almost, now as you look at it, looks like almost like it's like a stone. It's shaped like a tree stump, but it's a stone feature that comes out. It's about 10 feet high, maybe 20 feet in diameter. These birds seem to be like hanging around it. It's when Risa kind of like stops and tells everyone to kind of like get down, and she's pointing to him. Says, "This is what I found earlier. Don't know if it's anything, but only thing I found besides that pig."
That looks horrifying.
And you can see where this thing is. Like I said, it's like 20 feet in diameter. I want to say like the 10 feet of that is like in the black sand, but the back 10 feet are not in the black sand. Like the black sand ends on the other side of this thing. So now what?
I added up my weight. I am officially lightly loaded, which means,
This is because of your sword?
and the light crossbow is 7 pounds. But so my, do I have leather armor? My movement pace instead of the normal 40 feet is 30 feet. Which I'm assuming as we're trekking through the jungle or whatever, that's not going to be affected. But for combat's sake, I'm just letting you know what's going on. I'm not heavily encumbered. I'm just lightly loaded.
You're a little slower.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what you see. You see this almost, you've traveled down this black sand. There's nothing on this. I mean, if you look out on that black sand beach, every so often you do see more skeletons. Pretty much the whole way, they're just not like loaded with skeletons, but there's skeletons here and there as you walked up. But at the end of this beach seems to be this, not quite a monolith, but like some black stones sticking up, and these birds seem to have attached themselves to it.
Does it look like it's giving off any arcane energy or anything?
You have no idea.
would I recognize it as
And if anyone has Villy, he says he's already cast that spell.
what about like a stone cutting check?
Sure.
Man, an 11.
It's stone.
Could I do a search, like in my immediate vicinity, to see if there's like a little rock or pebble or something that I think I could throw out there?
Yeah. You don't have to roll a search. I mean, you look around. Yeah, there's rocks, no problem.
Okay. I tell everybody, I say, I can go up a little bit and sneakily just throw a rock at the birds, see if they'll scatter off, so we can go see what that thing is. I don't think they'll know where the stone's coming from.
Or they might. I don't know if it's a good idea. Look at the size of that bird.
Is there just one?
No,
No,
as you watch, you start seeing some movement. There's about 4 of them.
But they're pretty huge, right? I mean...
They're medium sized.
Oh, okay. Well, you said they were like 5 feet or something?
Yeah, I think it's 5 foot.
Yeah.
I can double check.
I mean, that's a pretty damn big bird. Like,
yeah, it's not like
bird.
rock sized.
yeah. Right. Yeah, that's true. But still,
2 to 3 feet tall. Oh, the 4 or 5 foot wingspan.
oh, okay.
That's still pretty big.
So, halfling sized. All right. Yeah, well, either way, I would I was a city boy. Like I grew up in the, cloistered in the monastery. So for me, seeing a 3-foot bird is like, nope.
And you see 2 of them up top. It's like almost like orange tuft. Almost looks like a little mohawk on top of their head. 2 of them are on top. You can see the beaks. They got that like almost like part of their beak is like just becomes a spike that sticks out. You see them. They're kind of like every so often they tap the rock. I'm not sure why, but they just start like tapping the rock. And see 2 more kind of the angle you couldn't see, like kind of behind, kind of come up on top and join them. There's like a total of 4. You start seeing them every so often. They kind of attack each other with them, like kind of spar a little bit, and then they tap the rock. They're there.
Do we have? So she caught this boar. We're carrying that with us or something?
Yeah, someone is.
All right. Would it be possible to get like a? Probably not. Have they cleaned it? Is there like a giblet? Is there something? I want to be like. I'll suggest to
They haven't
people.
cleaned it yet.
Okay, I'll suggest to people like, well, we could cut a little hunk of this boar off and throw that out there away from them. See if that'll attract their attention, and then
Get baited away.
yes, thank you, Naduri. That.
As you suggest that, the captain kind of looks and says, "That's our food for today. How much are you planning on taking?"
I don't know. How much do you think we need? I mean, not much.
Just the entrails,
Yeah, stuff we're not going to eat anyway.
You know what? Normally I'd say no, but I saw you in the beach with the shield. Anyone's lucky enough to pull that off, you know what? Go for it.
I guess I'll just take whatever they hand me, or do I have to?
Well, he kind of like, you see him like nod to the guy. The guy's just got like the boar slung on his shoulder. He just kind of like plops it down on the sand.
I'm gonna say, give me something nasty that nobody's gonna eat.
Naduri will jump in with hand axe and slice it open and just cut out some of the really gross giblets and the offal that's not really suitable for eating.
So you just walk up, hack into us. So you pull out like the intestines pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, the tripe.
It's like a ring of sausages, long intestine. Yeah, some good old tripe with it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a nice sopping handful of that, and if I could, I'd like to just sneak up, just kind of away from the group in case I fail miserably, and then find a nice position from there from which to throw this stuff. And I'm not throwing it at, obviously, not throwing it at the obelisk. I'm throwing it away from there so that they will go after it.
Okay.
He's rolling my stealth check. Makes me nervous.
All right. Yes, this is what I was doing. Your hide check.
Don't forget, I'm level 2. I think.
Actually, I was doing move silently, not hide.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Well,
much better.
hide. No, I mean hide. It like if you're doing a hide check as a halfling, you pretty much can hide.
Oh, that's right. That's 30%, I think.
No, actually, isn't it if you stand still?
Yeah, well, as a halfling, you basically have like a 90% success as a.
Outdoors in their preferred forest terrain. So that would be up to Caleb if this is my preferred forest terrain. They're able to hide very effectively so long as they remain still. There's only a 10% chance they will be detected.
Right.
But that's in my preferred. This is like some random island.
It's
So-
jungle. I mean,
Yeah, jungle, not like happy halfling forest.
I'll give you some bonus. Maybe not the 90%, but I'll give you some bonus since.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm hidden. So
you do.
I'm going to find a nice big tree, and then I'm just going to locate them and then go at like a 45 degree, maybe even like a 50 or 60 degree angle away from them and throw this stuff as far that way as I can. It just lands
All
on
right, well,
them.
as you get up, as you walk up, and you get pretty much really close to this thing, you can see it. I'll say is now that you're close, you can see it now. It is a what's that rock called that looks like lava rock? Basalt. It's almost like it just it's like I said, it's shaped like a tree trunk, but it's 10 feet up. It's this thing is like pure basalt, and you can see it's got those like it's got those like it's very porous and like they're these birds' claws are just latching right into it. You can see at the base of this thing, there are just these slabs of basalt like lined all around the base of this thing. You can see it look like there's these yellow ferns growing at the base also. And then there's these weird I say weird and I gotta check my notes. Yeah, you see these also next to the ferns, these like weird twisted, like gray tubular things sticking up from the ground. But as you get up there and you kind of duck behind a tree, you see two of them, their heads whip right over.
I stay still as a stone behind my tree.
And you hear, I can't do the noise, but you know, like the raptors in Jurassic Park 1, they make those like,
No,
kind of like almost like the purring kind of like noises.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they kind of like, they both do that. Two of them seem kind of oblivious, but two of them, they whip their head and they make those noises. And you see them, they kind of take off in the air. And like a vulture, they just kind of slowly circle around the area where they are. But I mean, they never dive down. So you're not sure if they're just toying with you or they don't see you. How long do you wait?
As long as it takes.
Okay.
I don't want to, unless there's a feasible chance that I can time it so that they're like they're facing another direction, and then I see that like they're going out that way, and then I could throw it and hide again really quick.
I mean, yeah, they're not like whipping. I mean, they're kind of doing a slow like thing, like they're trying to think something's there. They're trying to find it. Yeah, I mean, if you sit and watch for a couple minutes, you can do it and time it where in their like patrol where they're facing away from you, you can like toss something and duck back into hiding.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right, so make a dexterity. Make a bow attack, but not. It's obviously not a bow. Like a ranged attack, I guess, is what.
Okay, but I don't get my bonus for ranged weapons, so maybe that. 5 total.
5. All right. So, let's see. How far away? Okay.
Eat it.
All right. So you go to throw it, and as soon as you launch it, kind of like the blood and stuff, it starts sliding out of your fingers. You get enough where it goes forward, but not that far. And here's a squish as it hits, and you can see those the two that are flying, they kind of come down. They don't touch the ground. One dives in, and you can see that spike just like impales that piece of meat and takes it back up and goes on top of that uh the basalt, like the rock, and you can see them that and you can see they bring up these talons, these nasty talons. They start ripping this thing up.
That didn't go according to plan.
I mean, it's not like there's not blood spilling everywhere, but they're definitely eating into this thing.
Yeah, but they're still on the
Yep.
pillar. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna sneak back to the team and say, oh, I tried. Sorry. Anybody else got any other ideas? Do we still want to check this thing out? Or just stroll on by?
What were you said that there were like these little like sort of tube like
Yeah,
things
I
at
would
the
describe
base.
that.
Oh, okay.
Like twisted gray, like tubular things. Like they're obviously some type of plant, but you don't
Plant. Okay.
kind of like twisted. They're gray and they're coming up out of the ground.
Mm-hmm. They look like plant material. Interesting.
And there were some like yellow ferns right next to those. And then just like a bunch of slabs of basalt just around the bottom of this thing also.
Mm-hmm. And so we came to this location simply because it was easy enough to get to, and because it was like a landmark that we could see or whatever. Yeah.
The only thing they knew about, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I would sort of look to, the scout or the captain, for answers because I have none.
All right.
Yeah, all I need is more flying combatants.
Yeah.
With my ability to hit being what it is.
Flying stuff is good. All right. So you come back and you see Anders. Not Anders. Andros is talking to Villy, and you see Villy kind of like, I can only like, you know how much I can do. Like that's gonna expend everything. And you hear Andros say, "Well, it's maybe worth it." See him turn around, and as Grimwald comes back, says, "Any luck?"
Nope. If you want to give me another piece, I can attach it to my grappling hook and I can try to fish for one of these birds, but they probably won't like that very much.
I have an idea. I'm not sure how well it'll work. Villy here can cast something, but this will be it for him for the day. But it'll make you unseen. But if these things rely on scent, I don't know how well that's going to work.
I start to contemplate like what is actually there that I care anything about. And when I stop and think about it, from what I could tell, there was not a whole that I don't care anything about these stupid tubular things and these bushes. Like if there were like runic carvings and like it actually looked like something cool, then I'd care. But otherwise I don't care. So I'm like, save it, man. I don't need I saw all I need to see.
At this point, Ryza walks past, and you can see she's got an arrow, and she has a bunch of entrails like on the arrow. She just walks up, says, "Just watch." She pulls it. She aims. And what she does is she aims kind of in the bird's direction, maybe not right at the birds. Kind of does the deep breath, times it. Let's go. The arrow flies right past these birds. It almost like nicks. You can see like a feather fly off one. And it flies past and it kind of like drops to the ground. You can see all 4 of them. They make those. Then once they make like those noises and they jump down. Well, they fly. You can't see. They fly kind of away from where you are, and they go below where this thing is sticking up, so you can't see where they go.
Nice shot.
But as of right now, they are not there.
And I think at this point, I would say, well, if we're gonna check that mountain or that hill or whatever it is, now seems to be the time.
Yep.
And then I said, I look to Grimwald and I say, you may want to take the wizard up on his offer. Going up there unseen has some advantages, I would think.
Okay.
I'm not going up there alone again.
No, we'll go. I'm sure we'll go with you, but
Let's just say I just did roll a timer for how long they will be occupied.
Yeah. So I'd say let's go check it out, and I guess we'd all start marching towards the obelisk then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go check the base out, and I'll point out like the weird tubular things coming up around it, and I will let those more interested than I step forward and check it out.
Most of the people do stay in the jungle. Ryza is going to come with you. She kind of crouches but moves quickly. I mean, right up. As you get close to this thing, you can hear, not like right on the other side, but for a while, you can hear the birds like eating whatever it is. She walks over to these things sticking out of the ground. She kind of takes one, sniffs it, kind of like takes her finger, runs against it, and licks it. Some type of root system. What the hell is it growing out of the ground for? I don't know. All right, everyone roll a search check.
It's just a straight D6, right?
Yep.
2.
1.
Are we? Do we?
2.
Yeah, we don't roll any or add any bonuses or anything, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Wait, did someone roll a 1?
Yeah.
That's actually very good on a search check.
Yeah.
Yep. So what you
Oh,
need.
awesome.
All right, so Naduri, as she finishes and says something Bruce is everyone start looking, you go into like where these yellow ferns are, and it's almost like you kick it and you move the yellow ferns. There is some type of trap door underneath these yellow ferns.
Nice. Right. Yeah. I'll move that out of the way and
You don't have to. It just you open it up, but like the yellow ferns were covering it enough where it wasn't visible just by
Gotcha.
looking at it.
okay. Yeah, and I'll flag everybody discreetly.
All right. What are you gonna do? Because you gotta move quick now. You don't know when those birds are coming back.
Well, if he's flagging us, I would say, Aduri, what'd you find?
Trap door.
And then I would be like, does it look man-made?
It's a standard. It's a wooden
it's a
planks with
legit
like a metal
door.
ring
Alright.
on it.
Gotcha. And I would look over to Grimwald and be like, well, you seem the sort that would crawl in and out of holes like this and perhaps know your way around traps. Can you check and see if this thing is gonna kill us just by opening it?
I've seen weirder things, but yeah, I'll check it. But just for future reference, Caleb, I know that it says here dwarves, they succeed at detecting slanting passages, traps, shifting walls, and new construction on a roll of 1 and 2 on a 1d6. Yeah. So yeah, I'll search that door for traps. So I need to. That is a remove traps check for me.
Yep.
And I need a 25 or lower. I forget. Do you use the? Yeah, you use the D100 as the 10s, right?
Yep.
Okay. Then I got a 5.
Yes.
Oh.
So yeah.
All right. So you reach down. You're probably moving quicker than you like, but you know certain death may be right upon you. This thing seems to not be locked in any way and has no form of trap on it.
I open it up and say, "It's all clear, boss."
It opens up with a slight creak and whatever. It's just blackness.
Do I feel a ladder? Any
You can
kind?
see the top of a ladder, but it's just dark.
Yeah, I'm like, I got no torches.
Yeah, I don't think I would either. But I would look to Nidori and I would be like, "Your folk come from under the ground. Can you see well in the darkness?"
Oh, that's right. Can halflings see? Yeah.
Not only do I have 60-foot dark vision, but I've got a hooded lantern in my pack.
Hey yo.
Ew, do you have oil?
Yeah, I've got 3 flasks of oil. But I'm pretty sure that my tinder, is pretty well ruined from having been shipwrecked. Would my lamp wicks be okay, Caleb?
I would say like the oil and the lamp would have been like a protective thing.
Okay.
Tinderbox, yeah, it's probably gone.
All right, yeah, but there's probably enough scrap junk laying around to
Yeah, I mean, I have flint and steel, so if
perfect.
You start hearing the flapping of wings.
All right, yeah, I will I will go in
Jump
and
down.
I will hand off the lantern materials.
All right, I'll put the warhammer on my back and I'll try to light the thing, and as I motion for tell Grimwald, get down in there. Actually,
Yeah,
wait, are we the only ones that are here?
You 3 and Ryza.
Oh, and Ryza, okay.
You see, she's got an arrow knocked, and she's more like she's keeping watch right now.
Sure, yeah.
She's close to you, but you see her. She's more keeping an eye on everything.
And I would say, oh no, go ahead.
I biggity bounced down that hole.
Yep. And as I'm looking, I would kind of just like cock my eyebrow at Ryza and kind of nod to the hole to see if she's gonna go in it or not.
So who went in already?
Me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Niduri and Grimwald.
All right. So she looks over, sees everyone else. You see, she just kind of goes over and she just jumps down.
All right. And then I guess I would, kind of with lantern in hand, hopefully lit, go down and pull the trap door closed if I can.
You can, yeah. It's so I'll say as the door closes, that's when your lantern like lights up.
Mm-hmm.
As the door closes. It's about maybe 5 feet down. But you can tell it was at a little bit of a slant, so it's like as you got down, you're pretty much right underneath this. Yeah, I guess monolith is the best word, or obelisk. Very very humid down here. And you can see as it looks up, this whole entire ceiling has these like plants growing on it, and the plants are somehow in this dark cave. They are blooming, and they're dripping this like nectar.
Whoa.
It's pretty much like the whole ceiling of this is this blanket of these flowers. But you can see around you, this is a very small chamber. There are some crates in here. There are some barrels in here.
Ooh. I immediately head over to some of them. Are you gonna do something to Niduri?
I'll probably just kind of watch out for you if you're gonna check that out.
Yeah, I walk over to the first closest one and I give it a once over, make sure it's not no strings attached, as it were.
Okay, there's about 4 crates here. They're all a little smaller than normal. There is one that's a standard size. There's like 1 decent sized crate and 3 smaller ones.
Now, are they all nailed shut?
Yes.
Okay. Well, like I said, the first thing I do, I don't know how many times you want me to roll for checking for traps on each one. It was just one for all of them, or
just do one.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. I got a 14.
All right. So you do once over. None of the boxes seem trapped, but that big one where it's sitting. Now you're not sure if it's a trap, but where it's sitting on is some type of like a loose stone.
Okay.
Just the way it is, you can't really tell what it is, but you can some type of either a trap or a passage. You can't tell.
I will motion for my dwarven friend to come over and be
Yep.
like, "Is this something you've seen before?"
You want me to roll?
Yeah, you're stone cutting. Why not?
Wait, was that supposed to be a D6 or a D20?
D6.
D20.
No, D6.
It should be D6.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. That was a 1.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. All right. So you kind of look around. You can see no problem here. Yeah, he points out it's some type of loose stone. What it looks like is if this crate is moved, that stone can be pulled away. It doesn't look like it's any type of mechanism, but it looks like that stone, like this crate is made to hold the stone in place. If that makes sense. You don't.
What's the verdict,
don't
Beardy?
think it doesn't seem like it's a trap per se, but it's definitely not like a normal cave floor.
I mean, I will point that out. I'm not sure I know what that means.
It's some kind of trigger for something. So I'll go over to I'll pick a random crate and I'll pop that open if I can. Maybe I'll get out my long sword and I'll wedge it in there and then stand on the end of
All
it and
right.
jump.
Someone roll a d8.
I'm not going to be responsible for this.
7.
7. Wow. All right. So you pop it open. There are a bunch of, probably on the old side, but still good, bunch of ration packs in there.
Nice.
7 ration
7
packs.
in particular? All right.
Woo. All right then.
We keep in party loot somewhere.
I can.
Once
Yeah.
again, you feel
Yeah, I've got it right here.
something like drip on you, and you can tell it's just like, I mean, it doesn't like burn you. It's not acid, but there's nectar.
Is it like sticky?
It's very sticky. Yep.
Right.
Gross. I pop open another crate.
Okay. You pop this one open. It is like
Explodes.
no, it doesn't. It's all. It was food at one point, but this stuff was probably perishable food. It's all spoiled.
Gross.
It's
Next
not.
crate.
It's not like rotten and reeking, but it's definitely spoiled. Whatever it was is spoiled. It's probably like bread that's like almost looks like a rock at this point.
I kick it angrily.
Yeah, it was a crate all of foodstuffs, but it was all like
Yeah.
perishable type.
Turns out it was a mimic. It bites your foot. No.
Third crate.
All right, this will be the bigger one.
But the one that's sitting on a.
Yep.
Okay, fourth crate.
Okay, so go to that one. Okay. You find once again. Damn, you guys I rolled well for that. Another crate of ration packs, this time 5 of them.
Woo. 12 ration packs total. Excellent. All right. Then I will motion over to my dwarven friend to help me move this crate. And I think he and I have both we agree this is not a trap. This is some kind of trigger. Something's going to happen, but I don't know. It could open a door that leads somewhere else. That's my intuition on it. What do you think?
I mean, I agree. I think if there's an ill effect, we can move the crate back and we ought to be all right.
Let's keep the healer maybe closer to the other end.
Well, and I would say no.
Right now.
Yeah, I'm not a healer right now. I'd pull my warhammer out and I would say, well, and holding up the lantern in one hand, and I would be like, just in case.
I can open the crate.
Oh, yes. Because there's got to be something inside of it that's like holding this down.
Ah, okay. What's that on my chart?
Golden idol.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right, you open it up. There are about 12 quivers of arrows in there.
Any bolts?
You know what? Roll a d6.
Yes. Okay. All right, here I go. 6.
Wow. All right, there's 3 quivers of bolts.
I am taking. How many bolts are in a quiver?
20, I think.
Sure that works.
There's a 10. Fell in here.
Yeah, top of my head, I don't know. It actually wasn't. It was just arrows, but I said, why not? That'll be fun.
Or I'm just waiting for Sam to tell me what how many are in a quiver.
Yeah, I'm trying to
think
look. I don't know if it says.
And at this point, you can hear. It sounds like the birds are back on the.
Well, we're committed now.
Yeah.
On the obelisk.
All right. So yeah, quarrel for the for a crossbow. Okay, nope.
I have to go look in the D.
Oh yeah, you'd have to read the description on a.
We can. We're gonna end soon, so we'll do that off. So that's what's inside the bigger crates.
20. Yeah. Okay.
20,
So
yeah.
Quiver and a bolt case hold 20. So that would be 60 arrows and 60 bolts. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. And now Naduri and I are gonna move that crate.
Yep. All right. You don't need to make a check. It's heavy, but the two of you can kind of just slide it off. As you slide off, nothing. The rock doesn't like blow up or anything. Nothing seems to happen.
I was like, I
But
motioned.
as you move it, it kind of makes noise. You can hear the birds are getting irritated. Doesn't look like there's no way for them to get in here, but
Yeah. I asked Naduri if he thinks it should try lifting up that rock and see if there's anything underneath it.
have the dwarf do it.
He's stronger.
Yeah, I
than me.
mean, should I? I mean, can I detect on it before we do anything?
You rolled a 1 before, right?
Yeah.
I'll keep that, and then now that the crate's off of it, you can kind of tell more. It looks like it is something that it doesn't look big enough to be any type of secret passage, but it looks like it's just something put down and to hide like an alcove.
Okay. Yeah. So let's move it.
All right. So you lift it up, and as you lift it up, it's heavy, but you're able to use your dwarven, your background. Yep, and now.
Yeah. Gonna get ready to bonk something if I have to.
So you lift it up and you kind of move it off, and kind of put it down. I'm assuming you don't just drop it.
Right.
Down, and you can see it will pretty much this was hiding in an alcove, but what you see is there is kind of looks like a flag. It's a black flag with a white skull and crossbones on it. It looks like it's draped over something.
We're committed at this point. You just got to do it.
Yep. Let's yeah, we'll pull that off.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think Grimwald would be able to help himself.
All right, so whoever pulls it off, there is a chest underneath this.
It's all Naduri.
And as you take this off of you get hit with like a smell of just like old and musty. And this flag has like lots of layers of dust on it.
We literally found some buried treasure.
Yeah,
Buried
Naduri's gonna breathe that all in. He's loving the subterranean.
I am 8 years old again.
There's a pirate flag on top of a treasure chest.
All right, I'm gonna kick it a la Link in Ocarina of Time.
I'm like, wait, let me check it first, please. Or do you just kick it before I get a chance?
Yeah, I just kick it.
Okay,
All
great.
right.
Kick it right in the lock.
All right. Well, you were lucky. This one was not trapped in any way. that would have been perfect otherwise. So you kick it and it just pops open. Yep.
Yeah.
You hear a little ding.
Yeah.
All right. So inside this chest, there are a bunch of interesting things. There's a lot of gold coins in there. It is a total of 350. Lots of help on an island. There are 2 strings that have like a bunch of black pearls on them. There is this thing fits in your whole palm, a flawless like giant-sized blue topaz, probably worth a ton of money if you could sell it somewhere. There are some like tarnished, like 3 or 4 tarnished, like what are they called? Bracelets, silver bracelets. They look pretty tarnished, but they're studded with like small like moonstones. And then there are 2 heads of porcelain dolls in there.
Oh, that's creepy.
That's it.
Really quick, you said there were 3 after the 300 gold, you said there were 3 strings,
There were 2 strings of black pearls,
2 strings of black pearls.
a giant flawless blue topaz.
Yep, tarnished silver bracelet studded with moonstones, and 2 heads of porcelain dolls.
Yep,
Creepy.
that's all that's in there. You guys pretty much found an abandoned pirate's alcove, pirate hideout.
Unfortunately, it's not a secret passage that takes us anywhere safer away from these birds.
Right.
Nope. And if you go searching, I'll just say you get more nectar dripped on you. See, Risa kind of spends her time like studying these flowers.
I ask her what she thinks.
She's staying more by the door.
What does she think about the flowers? Are they poisonous or?
Says, the nectar I wouldn't drink. These plants grow upside down. They thrive in darkness. Just don't touch them or eat them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, if you just open your mouth, you could drip
Yeah.
nectar. In it.
nah. Hard pass.
And I would look to the companions at this point as like, you know, probably the flickering flame from the lantern is like glittering off this, you know, topaz and all the coins and stuff, and I'll say, you know, this seems a good a place as any to keep this treasure here. I mean, it doesn't seem it'll do us much good on this island, at least not right now. And I don't relish the idea of trying to lug this chest through the jungle.
I will say the temperature is a lot cooler inside this place too.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
How many crew do we have from the ship?
There are 7 generic crew members and 3 named NPC. No, 4 NPCs.
Could we all fit in this little alcove, in this little to
Oof.
sleep?
If you move out the crates and barrels in there, probably.
I mean,
It'll
it's
be tight.
safe.
It'll be tight. Wow. How
I
safe
also
is it
have a
right now?
tent in my pack if that's helpful.
Just camp
just
right
thinking-
outside the birds.
They'll protect you. Yeah, no, I was thinking that because it'll keep us out of the wilderness.
Yeah.
But that is where I will end tonight's session as the camera zooms out as our adventuring party has found some type of old pirate treasure. What good will it do on this island? We'll wait and see.
Next time on the UnNamed Production Company.
And Hot Springs Island.